Time to enter championship round. This is 5-round MMA. I am Guillermo Cita alongside Alex Ramirez and Albert Cita. We begin with Benson Smooth Henderson's elbow. Sonnen and Evans is official, but today we begin with Mir versus Overeem.
We're starting the show with this, really?
Yeah. I just thought it was a big news because I know he's a big Overeem fan because he watches the ring constantly. And you're a big Frank Mir fan.
I love the video. I like the videography of the Reem, but I don't like the Reem.
It's just good production value, right?
It's just good production value. But I don't even want to talk about neither or. I want to talk about Josh Barnett because I think it's kind of rude that they left him out of this picture because how does Frank Mir get booked before the guy that won?
But it kind of argued to that. These are two guys coming off KO losses.
Exactly. So
I
think there's a stipulation to this fight.
I'm pretty sure there's a stipulation, but I'm pretty sure if it's Josh Barnett versus Overeem, which should have been the final in Strikeforce. I mean, and that was the fight that they wanted in Strikeforce.
Well,
I think it's still,
after Fedor.
Yeah.
I think they wanted Fedor and Overeem.
Yeah.
Well,
But
this fight makes sense to me because watch, if Overeem loses, he's cut.
Yeah.
Go to Bellator. If Mir loses, hey, it's time for your retirement. I have a job waiting for you in commentary.
I agree that makes sense, but at the same time, Josh Barnett should have still been taken care of first before Frank Mir.
Well, I think you still got the winners of the heavyweight division still
up in question. Yeah,
you got Brownie not really come and announce anything yet because Daniel Cormier is going to fight.
And
going to fight.
Verdum.
So I think
and Verdum's waiting for the winner.
I guess if you just put it in that terms, I guess.
so all sour grapes for Josh Barnett.
Yeah. Let's move on now. It's the Sonnen report again. Sonnen versus Evans.
God.
It's official now.
Oh, it's about time we get something official from Sonnen.
Finally.
I think it's a pretty good matchup, an awkward matchup because they actually work together.
Yeah.
So
and it seems like they get along.
Yeah.
I mean,
they joke around stuff, so that's kind of awkward.
Yeah, it's going to be a UFC 167 in December at light heavyweight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that pretty much stays. Rashad's not dropping down.
Yeah.
Chael's going to go wherever he wants to go for a fight.
And I like this matchup. I mean, I think it shows if Rashad should stay at 205, and it shows if Chael Sonnen should stay in 205.
Yeah.
So I think it's a perfect fit. It's probably the best matchup they could have done.
But then again, it's like nothing's online. It's just fighting for fight's sake. No, the winner.
I think the thing that's online is who stays and who drops down. Yeah. Loser drops back down to 185 or makes their debut at 185.
Maybe.
So now Benson Smooth Henderson. He's a former UFC lightweight. And
now he's a former. Don't rub it in.
Oh, yeah. He just released a statement regarding his elbow injury that he sustained during his fight with Anthony Pettis. And this is exactly what he said. My elbow is going to be an issue. Dr. Schaefer, I think that's the doctor's name, said I can resume training immediately, but it takes to take it slow and steady for a couple of weeks and do my rehab work.
Yeah, I agree with him to take his time. I mean, the guy had when he was a champion, he defended it a lot, and he was in constant battles and wars. He deserves a time off, and I think not just physical, but you got to mentally check yourself again and make sure you're all right after that. I mean, we all thought he was probably going to pass Anderson Silva's record of title defenses. So I mean, it's a lot to take in. So I would hate to see him rushed in.
Yeah, there's no rush for him because like the lightweight division is gonna be on hold right now for Anthony Pettis injured his knee.
Yeah,
so he's gonna be out doing rehab for a little while. So it'd be well for him and Grant to get healthy for their title shot. So he could probably line up maybe like perfectly with that fight, maybe have it on the same card, and then if he wins his bout, they get the winner of that bout.
I just think Benson Henderson's a champion that wouldn't turn down fights. You would hear this guy's in contention.
He never did.
He never did.
It's not like GSP where he's like, I don't know about that. Or Anderson Silva.
I still don't think he should rush. Whoever's his next opponent, he shouldn't rush it, and he should take his time when he feels 100% ready because this is devastating. It's not just any loss. I mean, you lost the title, and you lost in a pretty horrible way.
Yeah, but to Guillermo's point, he was just like, okay, who's next? Line him up.
Yeah.
Line him up. He never said, whoever they want me to fight, I'll fight.
And then you never heard injury reports or anything like that. So it's like, oh, well, Benson Henderson's good to go. Let's put him out there again. I mean, like, when does this guy get recovered? When you see other fighters, like, for example, John Bone Jones gets like 4 months, 5 months off. It's like, oh, Benson Henderson's fighting again.
Yeah, I think he's a great champion. Hopefully, he gets back to the title contention again.
Oh, that's it for latest news today.
All right, so stick around, guys. Got plenty of more action today. Stick around.
Please visit 5roundmma.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 5roundmma.com. Drink fearless, fight fearless. In this corner, we have Bellator light heavyweight Houston Alexander.
Hey, Houston, it's Alex from Irish. I want to thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Really appreciate it.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. You got a bout coming this Friday, September 13th for Bellator MMA against Vladimir Mechisenko. How's the training camp going for this fight? And are you all good come fight night?
Well, I just finished up with my coach, Curly Alexander. So we're getting ready. I think I'll be ready for Friday.
Okay, and then you took this fight in a short notice. How important is it for you to always be in shape and always be prepared when these calls come in?
Well, it's very important, man, because you never know when you get the call. So I try to stay in shape as much as possible, even when I'm not in shape. I stay in shape.
All right, cool. So basically, your fights in the light heavyweight division, which is kind of wide open right now in the Bellator. Do you have any plans in maybe entering the light heavyweight tournament, or are you just taking it one fight at a time?
You know what? It's always one fight at a time, but you know what? Right now, I don't care who they put in front of me. You know, with what I know now, a lot of those guys are in trouble. What I gotta say.
And then you fought in UFC and pretty much everywhere. What keeps you motivated and hungry to stay in the MMA game?
All right, well, I love the sport. So, first of all, if you don't love the sport, what are you doing there? That could be any sport. You play football, baseball. You don't love the sport. Why do you do it?
Yeah, that's true. I want to talk about your Twitter handle. On Twitter, you're a great follow on Twitter. You have real inspirational quotes about sports and succeeding and never giving up. How important is it to be a public figure to also relay a positive message to people and not just have take responsibility to use your public a spotlight in a good way?
You know what? That you never. As a matter of fact, I think it was Herman Edwards that said that anytime you put anything out on a social network,
yeah,
it's the best place to life. So if I'm gonna put up a good resume, I understand what. So I always try to put positive messages out there, and I always try to put people on.
Okay, and then I know you mentioned that you're taking it fight by fight, but what do you think is more important to a fighter? Getting that championship or just getting the wins under your belt?
I think to me, I think it's the wins under your belt, because if you're winning, you're making money, and you're doing exactly what you love to do, and you'll get to that point where you might get in that situation where you might be a champion. But but winning is the most important part. To have the belt. Winning, just like Coach, I'm seeing my coach now. Winning is everything. Yeah. You know what Vince McCarthy said? Winning is everything.
Yep. Hey, we want to switch gears a little bit and talk about your involvement in the Omaha hip hop scene. I know you DJ part time at the radio station out there. Just talk about how important that scene is to you, along with your fighting career.
Well, you know what, the scene period, just not in this area. The hip hop coach is important because I've always been in it. I just had a class, a b-boy class. I believe it was this last couple of days ago. I just DJ'd maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I plan on doing a couple of murals around town in my area. Graffiti art murals coming up good soon. Again, hip hop is a part of my life, and it's something that never go away.
That's great stuff. I want to know you're rushed for time, so we'll let you go. We wish you best of luck. You can see him, Houston Alexander, make his Bellator debut this Friday, September 13th, against Vladimir Mechisenko in Temecula, California, at the Pachanga Resort and Casino. Alexander, before we let you go, do you have any shout-outs you want to give to anybody?
Oh, man, we got to give a shout-out to all the sponsors, man. Rotella, Stigmas Graphics, Tommy Tires, there's A-Ball Nutrition. There's a few sponsors that have been there from day one. And to all the family, friends, and fans, man, we appreciate the constant support. And we appreciate you guys for being interested in the interview. So I appreciate it.
No, thank you very much, Houston Alexander, everyone. Thank you very much, Houston.
No problem, man. Yeah, anytime you guys get a hold of me, anytime, and hopefully we have more time next time.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right, take care.
All right, thank you.
please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com. So we had an action-packed week of UFC, specifically during the week, which is kind of rare nowadays. You know, it's usually on the weekends. But we had UFC Fight Night, and now we're going to go over the results. There was 3 main bouts, in our opinion.
I'd say 2.
I think it was like,
there's 3 that we're going to talk about.
Going back to your action-packed UFC, I think Fox Sports 1 dedicated 10 hours?
Yeah.
From the prelims to the main card to the Ultimate Fighter of exclusively UFC
I
content.
think they're just they don't have content, honestly, because you know, they went from FS2 prelims and everything, and now just FS1 exclusively.
FS1,
and it's like, and Dana White seemed kind of pissed when when he announced it. But let's start with the first fight. It was Benavidez that we're going to talk about. It's Benavidez versus Formiga. How good did Joseph Benavidez look?
First, I'm not gonna lie to you. First, I was like, kind of like, oh man.
Yeah.
I hope Joseph Benavidez settles down and starts fighting, his fight. And yeah, sure enough, my worry literally went in an instant because Joseph Benavidez sat down, worked around, and did what he does best. Yeah. And I honestly think not only does Joseph Benavidez deserves a title shot in this division.
Is he ready for Mighty Mouse?
I think of course. So. I definitely.
But you kept the question. Do you think he could beat Mighty Mouse? Do you think
that's the hard part because Mighty Mouse? He's been rocked before, and he'll recover like that. So, I mean, it's difficult, especially because Mighty Mouse has the wrestling background. I know Joseph Benavidez does too, but...
The key thing that Joseph Benavidez now is showing is not only can he... I mean, obviously, he can always finish, but he's shown that once he hits you, he's already on you. I mean, like, if you look at the last 2 fights, he rocked the guys, and he was on him like...
Yeah, but Mighty Mouse is the fastest in that division.
Joseph Benavidez looked pretty quick.
Oh, he did, but I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, one of the things that Mighty Mouse advantage over everyone else is his speed. Yeah. So I mean, like
the last time he lost was a Dominic Cruz, and Dominic Cruz was bigger than him, and he just overpowered him. So.
Yeah, and it was a split decision.
Yeah,
too, so.
but Benavidez, I think, is
just speaks more volume to Mighty Mouse.
Either the same height or I think maybe smaller, a little smaller than.
Yeah, I think the only way it was proven that Mighty Mouse did, especially against John Dodson, he got rocked a couple times. If Joseph Benavidez. It looks like he's getting this knockout power. He's working on this knockout power.
Not only that,
look at the
combos he does his knockout power, and I think that's what people need. It's not just like a one shot. Yeah. No, he sets it up and then it follows through.
That knockout was what? Punch, knee.
Well, it was a knee to the ribs that really hurt.
It was like a four combo, right?
Yeah.
So
I think if a combo like that were to hit Mighty Mouse, I think you could see a new
that's what I'm saying.
champion.
It's not just a let's rock him and then it shows that Joseph Benavidez is continuing.
Whatever Dwayne Ludwig is doing out there, I mean, wow.
I've been seeing a lot of interviews with them now and
now what's that stat? They're like 13, 14 and
16 and 0. I saw
like
something.
That,
yeah. Some ridiculous number, but I mean,
and what's the Blackzilians?
I think it's the opposite. It's the opposite right there.
Yeah, really.
So, anything else on that?
Just I really hope that Joseph Benavidez feels like he deserves against Demetrius Johnson the rematch. Yeah. And I think it's going to be completely different. Nothing to take away from Demetrius Johnson because obviously he's proven that he is the champion in this weight division.
Oh yeah.
But I really want to see that matchup, and I can't wait to see it. To tell the truth, I hope they both are healthy and we see that soon.
Yeah.
Okay, I was giving you a couple seconds just because I'm super excited and we got to talk about it for at least 5-10 minutes. Is Jacare versus Okami.
I do have to say one thing though. I was disappointed that he wasn't able to do his Jacare. I think he said he hurt his knee or something, and that's why he wasn't able to do it. I was like, man, it's the reason I even tuned in to watch.
Nah, man,
I want to see the Jacare alligator clap.
During the fight, I was texting Alex a lot. Jacare, in my opinion, with Anderson Silva out of the picture, if he stays out of the picture, Jacare will be the middleweight champion. You heard it from me.
But he even said, too, I'll fight anybody you want, even at light heavyweight, but I just won't fight Anderson Silva because they train together.
Yeah.
So he's open to fight
if he's out of the picture, Jacare, you heard it from me, Jacare will beat Chris Weidman.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Well, actually, I was texting Alex as well. And I told Alex that, first of all, Jacare was a scary man on the ground. And now he to add to it, it's a stand up.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got probably a dangerous man in that octagon.
Yeah, because if Chris Weidman were to wrestle him down, you got to worry about that.
Jacare wants to be on the ground. He wants to stand up. He obviously showed he has stand up.
But like since his loss to Luke Rockhold, where Rockhold put him in some
I actually wanted to see the rematch
and really neutralized his ground game. 2 of Jacare's 5 wins have come by a knockout.
Yeah.
So he's working on his stand-up game.
Exactly.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
That's exactly I was trying to make the point that, I mean, if now that his stand-up's good, I mean, wow, like.
I think his
who
next
can
fight should be
stop
against
him?
Tim Kennedy rematch, even though I think Tim Kennedy's booked, right?
Yeah,
he's
fine.
Machida.
Oh, yeah. Not Tim Kennedy. I'm talking about Luke Rockhold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But Rockhold's, I think, booked.
he's booked too.
Yeah.
He's booked
But
too.
I mean, there's 185 is like we were talking about like last week too. 185.
Yeah,
is pretty,
but we have a bunch of key matchups
Yeah.
coming up,
Oh,
so
yeah.
there'll be plenty. I mean, and I think he doesn't even recover from his knee or something because he did hurt it. But I mean, you got Michael Bisping and Mark
Mark
Munoz.
Munoz
Well,
is that
in
winner.
the
the
corner.
middleweight's starting to look promising all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And it's not because of Machida.
Whoa, whoa.
They're just they injected new blood into the middleweight division.
And
I
it
think-
wasn't the Dragon's blood.
And before we go on, I mean, what about Yushin Okami?
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be
We almost forgot about him.
Japanese.
Well, that's who Jacare
It
fought.
was supposed to be Japan's next idol, and I don't know. It seems like
I think he was really.
he's really crashing down.
Jacare really caught him off guard. You could tell.
Yeah.
Like I think he was expecting
I
to
think
go
he
to
was
the
still
ground.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
Yeah.
he was still on the high of beating Hector Lombard because
Yeah.
he should pray every night that he was able to survive Hector Lombard and that he was able to just keep him on the ground.
Yeah.
Because Hector Lombard would devastate.
He
that
would have
guy.
done what Jacare done.
Yeah.
Though.
So I think he was still high on that, but he should have, really said like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I
I
think
won
he was
because I
really
took him down, not
surprised,
because
yeah.
I was better."
He was
I
really
think
surprised.
Okami started off really well, especially after the first flurry of Jacare, and you thought an adrenaline dump was gonna happen, or
First
no,
Jacare,
I
that's
think
the initial
Yeah.
initial reaction
Yeah.
though, and then you saw Okami's gonna take over from here, but then Jacare's are like, man,
He's all, please, son. That was just my first-
I'm still
that
on
was
full
my first
tank.
wave, yeah.
So but I think Okami after that Tim Boach loss, I think you're starting to question his chin a little bit.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Well, yeah,
But
that-
ever since then, he's been more wrestling ground game.
Yeah, he.
That, like, but
that's
if
why
he-
I said. That's
yeah.
why I said he pretty much avoided a train against Hector Lombard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
but do you think they gave Sherman one more chance?
I think he's pretty much in the middle of the pack now. Lower pack now. He's not gonna.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
he
so-
just came off Hector Lombard win and then the loss. I mean, he's
He's
still
a
in
good,
the mix.
He's
I'd
a
say
good
2 more
measuring
fights and
stick
then
for
he-
fighters. I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you can hang with Okami and beat him, I think you'd be all right. You'd be on your way up to the middleweight division. But as far as you beat Okami and you're in line for a title shot, I don't think so.
No.
Oh, how about Joe Silva? Let's see that Tim Boach rematch again.
It might be, it might be different.
If
Yeah.
they don't know what to do with Okami, let's just see the rematch. Why not?
Yeah.
So let's move on to the main event, and we have a lot of thoughts. I mean, he's a big Ryan Bader fan, but it was Glover Teixeira versus Ryan Bader.
It was one of my. I like Ryan Bader, but it was against one of my one of FiveRoundMMA's good friends, Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
And I never go against a good friend.
You-
So of
you
course
don't
I
go
was going
against.
for Glover Teixeira, and
But
the
I was-
word friend is
I
taken very
was telling-
lightly here.
I was telling Alex, there's a little things that not bug me about Glover Teixeira,
Well,
just
let-
the hype of Glover Teixeira.
I think we should just.
Yeah, I wrote an article about that.
Yeah,
like,
well, we should just get it out there. He has a questionable chin.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
that's the biggest concern. I think, no matter what we pick apart, the biggest concern is that questionable chin because he got rocked before against that Brazilian boxer.
Yeah.
he got rocked by him, and then Bader rocked him too. Bader not just rocked him. I mean, he literally fell on the floor and had to recover quickly.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
slipped, I think.
It could have been 50-50. But the point is,
You're giving too much credit to Ryan
Yeah.
Bader on that one. But yeah,
the point is he has a questionable chin, and that's not something to show if you're going up against John Bones Jones or potentially a championship fight.
Yeah.
I just think Glover Teixeira shows a lot of similarities to Junior Dos Santos, and that's something Ryan Bader should have keyed on. You have someone that's just good at stand-up. You haven't really seen his ground game.
If you press forward,
And you press forward, you use wrestling to take him down and be on their back. And he should have gone back and watched Kane and Junior Dos Santos, and I think he would have been successful instead of trying to
he trained
stand up with them.
Junior Dos Santos, so it's not pretty surprising too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not nothing I think he can't fix because obviously it's just a couple of little things to change up. I mean, his wrestling's a little bit sloppy, but he was still able to take Ryan Bader down for a quick moment,
Yeah.
which is promising. Because that shows, I mean, that he doesn't want to show that he has a weakness against wrestlers. And the other thing that I do want to point out before we really dissect him is that he was able to recover really fast. And why did he win? Because he had the more technical striking.
Yeah. To that, after the fight, Ryan Bader, excuse me, was like he's basically said, I was a little too aggressive. I wasn't staying tight. I got caught with the right hand and left hook, and that was that. So like you said, like
well, he said the same thing about Machia. Remember, he said like, "Oh, I didn't stick to my game plan."
So it was basically it was his over aggressiveness and his lack of boxing skills, right? That got him caught.
Not to defend Ryan Bader, but just to not to make him look too bad. He did rock Glover to Sharon. It did look like the end was coming, so he might have just got too excited.
Yeah, his punches were just too wild and too open. That's why Glover to Sharon kept it tight. And then
I mean, I'll give Glover to Sharon this, that if he were to get one punch on John Bone Jones, he could win the light heavyweight championship.
I like to say, the guy's won 20 fights in a row. That's like that's no easy feat. But the fact that he's not really knocking down like top guys.
Well, I wasn't excited after the win. I wasn't like, oh wow, Glover to Sharon has a real good chance against John Bone Jones. I wasn't like that. I was like, wow, John Bone Jones might win again if he were to face Glover Teixeira.
I think if he does face John Bone Jones, I think we'll see a different Glover Teixeira as far as presence.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll be a lot smarter. It'll be more. His striking will be more technical, and I think he's gonna look to see when to strike rather than to just strike, knowing that he doesn't want to get rocked or anything. And he knows that all he needs to do is land a punch on John Jones to finish the fight.
Well, in all fairness, he's gonna get the winner of the Jones Gustafsson.
No, I think he gets Daniel Cormier. He gets bumped down.
No.
They announced it already.
They announced it.
Yeah, Glover Teixeira's gonna get the winner of Jones and Gustafsson. So he might not even fight Jones. You never know. He could be fighting Gustafsson next.
Oh, it was Fabio Maldonado.
Maldonado.
But who knows? Okay, so Glover and Jones, you see Jones winning, right? Or having more problems. But what about Glover and Gustafsson?
That's tough because
Gustafsson has knockout power.
Yeah,
keep that in mind. Yeah, whoa.
So basically, are you guys? Is the general consensus that entering the title shot against Jones or Gustafsson, Glover's underdog to you guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
but I still need to see more from Gustafsson.
I think Alexander, the thing that makes him way better than Glover, I think, is the stamina. We've seen Alexander have good stamina, while Glover Teixeira, that's still questionable.
Yeah,
and that's a big thing to do. I don't put that
especially
really,
a 5-round fight.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't give that to John Bone Jones because when he fights John Bone Jones, I think it has nothing to do with distance. It's pretty much who's going to get the best of who.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down in the first or second round. Well, Alexander, I see more of both of them dancing around and picking their shots.
So,
yeah,
Glover an underdog. Huh?
Yeah, well, I would think so.
For once. Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, I hope Alexander wins, and we see Alexander versus Glover, and then we'll find out.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see
what the future will hold.
And that's it for this segment.
All right, so stick around, guys. We'll talk a little more Bellator and World Series of Fighting, so stick around for that.
Please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com. So we have the new season of Bellator kickoff, and we have a World Series of Fighting fight card coming up. So let's start off with Bellator.
Yeah, Saturday, Bellator 98, Shlemenko versus Cooper, which got off to a real rocky start.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper was replacement for Doug Marshall. The co-main event, Joe Warren and Nick Kirk was completely canceled because Joe Warren was not cleared to fight, which is kind of weird because the Fight Master show, the coach is going to be fighting. So, but I think Bellator, like always, when stuff like this happens, they always manage to pull off a show. And they had a show last night, so.
Yeah.
Shlemenko and Cooper was for the middleweight championship,
which I
went to decision.
Despite the Alexander's reign, because he's had a pretty dominant reign.
Yeah,
I still think this is one of the most open divisions in Bellator.
Yeah,
Brett Cooper obviously wasn't the first contender. It was Doug Marshall, who has actually knockout power, and it would have been a fun fight because Doug Marshall's known to just throw it down.
So is this like the Hector Lombard syndrome? Because he was a middleweight champion, Bellator reigned it for so long that
maybe it could be that it's just not a very competitive division as far as in Bellator.
Yeah,
and but I mean, not to take anything away from Alexander. I mean, the guy's like in a 10-fight win streak. His last loss, if you can keep going all the way down to their fights, was against Hector Lombard. So I think it's an open division. There's even if Doug Marshall gets healthy and faces Alexander, I still don't see who else can be in there. I know they brought in War Machine to kind of like put some energy into this
because he could go back and forth, right? 170 to 185. So whatever he feels like cutting weight or not, he could go either division.
Either or.
So I think Bellator's having a problem with anything above 170 getting stars.
From 170 down, they got such an awesome roster, awesome champions. and then up it's where you kind of like, I don't know, because you still don't know if Alexander's really that good. Because he has that 10-fight win streak, whatever. But I mean, he lost against Hector Lombard,
which is just having a hard time in the UFC.
Yeah, and Brett Cooper. I mean, he got knocked out by Doug Marshall.
Yeah,
so
and this was a unanimous decision.
Yeah,
win. I mean, like he should be finishing fighters, maybe. Like,
exactly.
Like Michael Chandler, he's finishing fighters. Like, sure, the quality opponent's not there, but he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's finishing these guys, just showing that he's superior. But that's a new season of Bellator. We also got another card,
Bellator 99 at Pechanga this Friday.
Yep.
Which we will be covering.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and check us up on that live feed on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're posting up
to
good
get
pictures.
our views of all the bouts.
And make sure you check out that post conference because I'll be asking those good questions.
It's gonna blow it up.
So in this card, there's pretty much, is there any, besides the main event and the co-main event, is there any fights or fighters you want to point out?
Not really in this event. So I really want to focus on the co and main event because it is pretty interesting. You got
the co-main event is Vladimir the Janitor Matyashenko
who's making his debut.
Yeah, he's making his debut.
We got 2 debuts,
and then we
have
three
debuts.
debuts. We have a late replacement in Houston Alexander,
our guest earlier today.
Yeah. Again, Houston Alexander was our guest, it is pretty interesting that he was the late replacement for this bout.
Again,
it hasn't been confirmed if this is going to be some kind of like entry position for the lightweight tournament.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the interview, I mean,
Houston was like one fight at a time.
Yeah, one fight at a time. But I really do think the light heavyweight, it's another division that's open for grabs, and I think anybody can pretty much take the reign here.
So you think the winner out of this will
probably enter? I think both of them, win or lose, I think both of them enter the tournament. The following thing, maybe in opposite brackets or something like that, depending. Yeah. But I think this shows who will probably be in the semifinals or finals who wins this fight.
I mean, I know the Janitor's up there in age, but like to his credit, I mean his last 3 losses in the UFC were to John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson, and Ryan Bader.
Those are title contenders or the title holder.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
it's kind of hard to really kick him while he's down because I mean.
Because those are like nobody's beaten.
Well, I mean, look at his record. Take away those losses. Before those losses, he was 26-4.
Yeah,
so which is pretty impressive,
respectable.
Yeah, so it's basically to see how much he has in the tank left.
Yeah,
and then or if Houston Alexander could pull for upset, like he's done it before. Look we did to Keith Jardine.
So that's what he was known for.
Yeah.
he's known for making the impact and. Who knows? He could be the next big Bellator star here.
Yeah, I think Houston's at his best when you count him out.
Yeah,
and then he always rises the cage. He's proven it before, so
yeah, it should be a fun bout, interesting bout.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great fight.
It might even weigh in on the lightweight pitcher,
light heavyweight
pitcher over there in Bellator.
So now let's move on to the heavyweight. It's
the
main event: Patricio the Pitbull versus Diego Nunes.
Yeah, Diego Nunes coming from UFC. Sadly, I don't think he really got a shot in UFC. I mean, he won one, lost one, lost one. So I mean. I understand that he wasn't consistent, but it wasn't like he had losing streaks, and it wasn't like he was losing to a bunch of nobodies, you know?
His loss to Kenny Florian, Dennis Seaver, and Nick Lentz.
Yeah, I mean, and these guys are all top contenders, and it wasn't back-to-back. It was... he had a win in between those things. So I think they gave up on him too easily, but like they said... where UFC didn't see the star potential, Bellator did. They even made him in the main event, and I think this is a wonderful pickup for Bellator. I wouldn't put it underneath the we picked him up because he pretty much couldn't cut in UFC.
Yeah,
because obviously he was winning some fights. I think this is a good pickup for Bellator, and I think it's probably one of the best ones they've done in a while.
Yeah, it's going to be in the featherweight division, which Pat Curran is currently champion
dominated
of. I think it's good. It's new blood for it. I mean. Patricio Pitbull has already lost to Pat Curran, so I think maybe secretly they're kind of hoping for Diego Nunes to have a good title shot. I mean, a good run to challenge Pat Curran. So it'd be good, like Diego Nunes, former UFC fighter, against Pat Curran, a good measuring stick. So.
And a good thing to point out is that Pitbull lost to the defending the champion Pat Curran.
Yeah,
and if Diego Nunes does win. It should be noted how he wins because, again, we'll see potentially how he'll match up against their champion, Pat Curran.
Yeah.
Which I really hope because another thing to this is not like a guarantee that Diego Nunes fights the champion.
Yeah, it's in the tournament still. But I think you can tell they're injecting new blood.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like the whole card. That's what I feel like the whole card is. These are we're trying to show you guys how they're going to do when we start the tournament almost.
Yeah, and also, I guess Saturday?
We have World Series of Fighting 5.
Yeah, so
basically, there's just one fight. You guys actually wanted to point it out, which was Arlovsky versus Kyle.
The main event.
Yeah, which is the main event.
People are talking about how UFC is going to be on a weekly basis now, but there's fights every week for fight fans.
If you keep looking.
Yeah, but I guess for hardcore fight fans, there's fights every week.
Yeah, and Kyle, he's a UFC fighter too, making his way to World Series. The only thing that sucks about this bout is I'm not as excited because the whole Rumble Johnson kind of threw it out because they really shouldn't have done that matchup because where does that put Arlovsky? Yeah, let's say he wins, right, in an impressive style. He still lost against Johnson, who is a light heavyweight technically. So it doesn't really add to the heavyweight division.
Well, I think not Rumble Johnson's out of the heavyweight division now. I think he wants to fight at light heavyweight. You said,
but still,
so it kind of
puts a division in purgatory.
Well, for some reason, I think Arlovsky's name is still drawing. I think, right?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm gonna watch it.
So even despite his 19-10 record, and his long streak of knockout losses,
this could be all just a setup for the Brett Rogers rematch.
You think so? Why would you want to see that again?
Because there's somebody out there that wants to see it. Trust me.
Yeah.
But my Kyle, I wouldn't say he's the worst fighter, but he's also not the best fighter.
20-9.
Yeah, he's 29, but he had a rough UFC career. Let's say. Unlike Diego Nunes, he had back-to-back losses.
Yeah, well, Mike Cowell's coming off a strike force. He lost to Giga Mousasi, Antonio Silva. So he's fought the top guys. Yeah. He's fought Rafael Cavalcante. So I mean, he
bounces from light heavyweight to heavyweight.
Yeah,
too.
he's lost to Verdum.
Yeah.
So it's kind of he goes back and forth. Maybe that's why his career is kind of like he pick a weight class and see where you go. But he's returning to heavyweight against Andre Arlovsky. I think should
be interesting. Yeah. I mean, if he were to win, I mean, he could probably reamp his career here.
Yeah, and I think it would do more damage to World Series of Fighting than it would benefit them. I think. 'Cause I think Arlovsky.
Exactly. I think they're really banking on that.
So
I'm telling you, they're banking on that rematch. Brett Rogers. I'm telling you, they're banking on it.
Well, we shall see Saturday. Another week of fights for fight fans, hardcore fight fans, and just casual fans. You guys are flipping channels. Why not check Bellator? Why not check World Series of Fighting? So. Yeah.
And that's it for today's show.
That's it for today. I want to thank Houston Alexander for taking the time to speak with us. You can see him this Friday at Bellator against Vladimir Matyushenko. Till then, and for now, as always, follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. You can also like us on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, so check out our photos there. And be sure to check out FiveRoundMMA.com for weekly articles, commentaries. The first place you can see our web show, and then the day's top headlines. I want to thank all of our sponsors. First, with Honey Badger Performance Energy Drinks, go get the most of your workout. Grab a scoop of Honey Badger. No shakes, no jitters, just pure energy. Go to drinkhoneybadger.com. I want to thank the Madhouse clothing line. Clothes for the fighter and fight fanatic. Go shop themadhouse.com and follow them on Twitter at the Madhouse MMA. Also, I want a big thank you to MMA Victor, Fantasy MMA. Go test your MMA knowledge against your friends and fans around the world. Go make your picks at MMAVictor.com and follow them on Twitter at MMA Victor. And also a big thank you to Top Rated MMA, 100%. Makers of 100% American-made MMA apparel. Go shop topratedmma.com and follow them on Twitter at topratedmma. Albert, some final words?
Yeah, again, I hope everyone logs on and sees our live reporting on Bellator. We also do unique commentary in all the fights, and we also score our how we saw the fight. So if you want to see that perspective, please log in. Check us out on Friday.
A different view to MMA.
Different view to MMA. If I
Not to toot our own horn.
Yeah. But again, I'd like to thank everybody for listening. I'd like to thank our sound engineer, Steven Rosal with Rosal Records. Check him out for any of your recording needs. Our executive producer, Guillermo Cita. Our technician, Ollie the Trolley. Thanks again, everybody, for listening.
Cream of the crop.